What if rebuilding muscle was not about scooping powders into a shaker bottle, but about unlocking a natural anabolic signal already built into one of the most ancient whole foods on Earth? For decades, the wellness industry has told us that muscle recovery depends almost entirely on synthetic protein powders, that the more grams of protein we consume, the more muscle we build. But the truth is, this narrative leaves out something critical. Because when you look beneath the surface down to the cellular level, it is not just protein quantity that matters. It is nutrient synergy, the interplay between amino acids, micronutrients, antioxidants, and even sleep-driven repair mechanisms. And one surprising food, a humble nut you may already have in your pantry, contains the perfect molecular orchestra to rebuild muscles overnight, naturally, efficiently, and without the need for processed powders. This conversation matters deeply, not just for athletes or fitness enthusiasts, but for anyone interested in aging well, because the ability to repair and maintain muscle tissue is one of the strongest predictors of health span and longevity. Muscle is not only about strength. It is a metabolic organ. It regulates glucose, insulin sensitivity, mitochondrial function, and even brain health. When we lose muscle, a condition known as sarcopenia, our risk of chronic disease, frailty, and metabolic dysfunction skyrockets. So, understanding how to nourish and rebuild it at night when our body's repair hormones peak is essential for long-term vitality. Here is what is happening inside your body while you sleep. Growth hormone surges. Muscle tissue enters a phase of active repair. Mitochondria work to restore ATP levels, and cellular autophagy clears damaged proteins. But this intricate repair process requires raw materials, specific amino acids like leucine and arginine, magnesium to regulate energy metabolism, vitamin E and polyphenols to reduce oxidative stress, and healthy fats to stabilize cellular membranes. This is where one nut, often overlooked, becomes extraordinary. It delivers the perfect balance of these compounds, a kind of natural recovery formula created by evolution itself. And unlike isolated protein powders, which often miss the coactors necessary for optimal absorption and signaling, this nut delivers protein in a nutrient-dense context that amplifies muscle synthesis and reduces inflammation simultaneously. In this breakdown, we are going to explore how this nut activates your muscle-building machinery while you rest. We will look at what modern research reveals about amino acid signaling, anti-inflammatory pathways, and how simple dietary shifts can enhance mitochondrial performance overnight. By the end of this deep dive, you will understand why relying on powders may actually short-circuit your body's natural recovery mechanisms and how returning to whole unprocessed foods can rebuild not only muscle but cellular resilience and longevity. Let us start by laying out the 6 core insights that will guide our exploration. For years, the narrative around building muscle has been dominated by one word, protein. The louder the fitness industry shouted it, the more we believed that muscle repair was a numbers game. Hit a target of grams, preferably as quickly and conveniently as possible. And thus, the era of protein powders was born. The shakes, the bars, the supplements that promise faster recovery and leaner mass. But here is the problem. When you isolate protein from its natural food matrix, you lose the biological orchestra that makes it effective in the first place. Let me explain what this means at the cellular level. Muscle repair does not depend on protein alone. It depends on the body's ability to activate a complex signaling cascade called muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. This process relies on amino acids like leucine and arginine. Yes, but it also depends on coactors such as magnesium, zinc, and certain B vitamins that regulate enzyme activity inside the mitochondria. When you consume a synthetic isolate, you may trigger MPS briefly, but you miss the secondary systems that sustain it: antioxidant defense, hormonal balance, and mitochondrial recovery. This is one of the main reasons why people who rely heavily on powders often experience diminishing returns. Their bodies are flooded with isolated amino acids but starve for the micronutrients that turn those amino acids into new tissue. Think of it like trying to build a house with a truckload of bricks but no mortar. You have raw material but not the glue that holds it together. Now, contrast this with eating a whole food source, especially a nutrient-dense nut that contains not just protein, but the entire recovery matrix. Inside this nut, protein comes packaged with magnesium, vitamin E, plant sterols, and polyphenols that collectively optimize muscle metabolism. These compounds modulate inflammation, protect cellular membranes, and improve the efficiency of mitochondrial ATP production. The result, protein that actually gets used for repair, not just processed and excreted. The research supports this shift in focus. Studies have shown that consuming protein from whole plant sources can produce equal or greater muscle gains compared to isolates when total nutrient density is accounted for. In one study published in Nutrients, researchers found that plant-based proteins rich in antioxidants improved recovery markers more effectively than whey protein, particularly in reducing oxidative stress and muscle soreness post-exercise. Here is another important point. Protein powders are often heated, processed, and stripped of their natural enzymes. Many even contain artificial sweeteners or emulsifiers that disrupt gut integrity, and the gut plays a silent yet critical role in muscle recovery. An inflamed gut means impaired nutrient absorption, increased systemic inflammation, and reduced amino acid delivery to muscle tissue. When you feed your body a whole food, a nut like the one we are going to reveal shortly, you are not just giving it protein, you are giving it instructions. You are feeding the mitochondria, balancing inflammatory pathways, and supporting the hormonal environment that turns nutrients into strength. If this breakdown is resonating with you so far, go ahead and press the hype button, drop a quick comment, and hit subscribe. It helps more people discover this kind of science-backed health content. If you truly want to understand how to rebuild muscle efficiently, you have to stop thinking of recovery as something that happens at the gym and start realizing it happens in the dark while you sleep. The gym provides the stimulus, but sleep provides the restoration. Every rep you perform during the day is simply a signal. The actual repair and growth unfold during your body's nightly symphony of hormonal and cellular activity. Here is what happens beneath the surface. When you fall into deep sleep, your pituitary gland releases pulses of growth hormone. This hormone acts as the master conductor for muscle repair. It stimulates protein synthesis, drives amino acid uptake into muscle tissue, and promotes fat metabolism for energy, ensuring that your body prioritizes rebuilding rather than storing. Simultaneously, your muscles mitochondria ramp up their work. They begin restoring ATP, the molecular currency of energy, which was depleted during exercise. During this process, damaged muscle fibers are repaired, oxidative stress is neutralized, and new proteins are laid down to strengthen and rebuild the tissue. But here is where it gets fascinating. This repair process depends heavily on what you ate before you went to bed. Because during sleep, you are fasting. You are not consuming new nutrients. So, your body relies on what is available in your bloodstream and liver from your last meal. If that meal was a synthetic protein shake, stripped of micronutrients, your recovery is only partial. But if that meal included whole food proteins and the right mix of minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats like the ones found in certain nuts, your repair systems have everything they need to function at peak efficiency. Let me break this down with a simple example. Magnesium, one of the most abundant minerals in nuts, acts as a coactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including those involved in ATP synthesis and protein metabolism. Without adequate magnesium, your mitochondria cannot efficiently generate energy, and your muscles cannot fully recover. Meanwhile, vitamin E, another compound naturally present in these nuts, helps protect muscle cells from oxidative damage that often peaks post-exercise. Together, these compounds create an ideal internal environment for muscle repair to occur seamlessly overnight. Several studies have confirmed this relationship between nutrient timing, sleep quality, and muscle recovery. For example, research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that protein consumed before sleep significantly enhanced overnight muscle protein synthesis in both young and older adults. But what is equally compelling is that Micronutrients like magnesium and antioxidants were found to improve sleep quality itself, creating a positive feedback loop where better sleep enhances recovery and better recovery enhances sleep. Now imagine pairing that natural anabolic window with a food that contains not only complete protein but also the coactors that optimize hormonal signaling, mitochondrial performance, and antioxidant protection. That is precisely what this nut offers. It supports every layer of the repair process, from hormonal release to mitochondrial regeneration to inflammation control. So as you drift into deep sleep, your body is quietly rebuilding, restoring, and strengthening, provided it has the right building blocks. And this is where nature's design outperforms anything that comes out of a shaker bottle. Now that we have laid the groundwork for how muscle repair actually happens overnight, it is time to reveal the star of this discussion, the nut that quietly carries the biochemical intelligence to rebuild muscle tissue naturally and effectively. That nut is the pistachio. For many, pistachios are simply a tasty snack. But at the cellular level, they are one of the most nutrient-dense, muscle-up-supportive foods nature has ever designed. What makes pistachios so remarkable is not just their protein content. It is the nutrient matrix they deliver. Each small kernel contains a complete amino acid profile: magnesium, potassium, vitamin E, B vitamins, plant sterols, and powerful antioxidants like lutein and polyphenols. Together, these compounds form a synergistic system that supports every stage of muscle recovery, from energy metabolism to inflammation control. Let us start with amino acids. Pistachios are surprisingly rich in leucine and arginine. Leucine is the key trigger for muscle protein synthesis. It activates a cellular pathway known as M2R, or mammalian target of rapamine, the molecular switch that tells your body to start building new muscle tissue. Arginine, on the other hand, boosts nitric oxide production, improving blood flow and nutrient delivery to muscle fibers. This combination means pistachios not only provide the building blocks of repair but also enhance the signaling pathways that tell your body to use them. Next, magnesium, an essential mineral that acts as a coactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including ATP generation and protein metabolism. Pistachios are one of the highest magnesium nuts available, providing the spark your mitochondria need to restore energy after exercise. Without adequate magnesium, your muscle cells cannot efficiently repair themselves no matter how much protein you consume. Then there is vitamin E, specifically gamma tocopherol, the predominant form found in pistachios. Unlike the synthetic alpha tocopherol found in most supplements, gamma tocopherol has superior anti-inflammatory properties. It neutralizes free radicals generated during intense exercise and protects cell membranes from oxidative damage, preserving the integrity of your muscle tissue. But pistachios offer even more. They contain polyphenols and carotenoids, such as lutein and zeaxanthin, compounds typically associated with eye health, but now shown to play roles in reducing systemic inflammation. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that individuals who consumed pistachios regularly had lower biomarkers of oxidative stress and inflammation compared to those who did not. And let us not overlook their healthy fat profile. Pistachios contain predominantly monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil, which support hormone production and stabilize cellular membranes, essential for efficient nutrient transport. When you combine all these nutrients, amino acids, magnesium, vitamin E, polyphenols, and healthy fats, you get a food that nourishes not only muscle tissue, but the entire recovery network, mitochondria, hormones, and the immune system. This is why pistachios stand apart. They are not just a source of protein. They are a complete recovery system built by nature. If you are enjoying this breakdown so far, consider subscribing. I post weekly deep dives into longevity science, nutrient biochemistry, and practical health optimization. It truly helps this science reach more people who need it. Inflammation is a paradox. You need it to grow, but if it lingers, it can destroy the very tissues you are trying to strengthen. After an intense workout, your muscles experience microscopic Tears, a signal that triggers inflammation. This acute inflammation is beneficial because it attracts immune cells that begin the cleanup and repair process. However, if that response becomes excessive or prolonged, it shifts from repair to damage. The challenge is balance, and this is precisely where pistachios shine. At the cellular level, inflammation is regulated by molecules called cytokines and pathways such as NF-kappa B. When these pathways are overactivated, oxidative stress rises, mitochondria become less efficient, and muscle recovery slows down. What pistachios do, remarkably, is help regulate these pathways naturally. Their rich combination of polyphenols, gamma tocopherol, a form of vitamin E, and carotenoids acts like a finely tuned dimmer switch, reducing excessive inflammation without shutting off the adaptive response your body needs to grow stronger. Let us look at gamma tocopherol first. Most people are familiar with alpha tocopherol, the common form of vitamin E in supplements. But gamma tocopherol, the predominant form in pistachios, is even more potent against inflammation. It neutralizes reactive nitrogen species, which are particularly damaging to muscle membranes. By stabilizing these membranes, gamma tocopherol preserves the structural integrity of muscle fibers so they can repair more efficiently. Then there are the polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that interact with your gut microbiome to produce metabolites that reduce systemic inflammation. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that pistachio consumption increased levels of beneficial gut bacteria such as Akkermania, Mucinella, and Bifidobacterium, both of which are associated with lower inflammatory biomarkers. This gut-muscle connection is critical because a balanced microbiome improves nutrient absorption, reduces intestinal permeability, and lowers the inflammatory load your body carries into recovery. Pistachios also contain carotenoids like lutein and xanthine. Though typically studied for their effects on eye health, these antioxidants have profound effects on muscle tissue. They quench free radicals generated during exercise, reducing oxidative stress within mitochondria. This allows the mitochondria, your cell's energy factories, to operate more efficiently during recovery, restoring ATP levels and supporting protein synthesis. Even their fatty acid profile contributes to inflammation control. The monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats found in pistachios modulate prostaglandin production, which in turn influences inflammation signaling. In simple terms, these fats help your body produce more of the resolving molecules that turn off inflammation at the right time so you recover faster without lingering soreness or fatigue. A study in molecular nutrition and food research demonstrated that athletes who consumed antioxidant-rich foods, including nuts like pistachios, had significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of systemic inflammation, and reported faster recovery times. So when you combine all these elements, antioxidants, polyphenols, vitamin E, healthy fats, you get a natural anti-inflammatory network that supports muscle adaptation rather than blocking it. This is the subtle but powerful difference between suppressing inflammation with synthetic antioxidants and modulating it with whole foods. If you are finding this helpful, tap the hype button and share your thoughts in the comments. And of course, subscribe if you want more deep dives into nutrition and longevity science. When we talk about recovery, we often focus on what we eat, but overlook when we eat it. Yet, timing may be just as powerful as the nutrients themselves. That is because your body operates on a circadian rhythm, an internal 24-hour clock that governs everything from hormone secretion to mitochondrial activity to gene expression. And muscle repair remarkably is synchronized with this rhythm. During the day, your body is in a catabolic state, breaking down nutrients for energy, responding to stress and maintaining alertness. But as night falls, your physiology shifts toward an anabolic state, focused on rebuilding, restoring, and regenerating. Growth hormone, melatonin, and testosterone all rise during the early hours of sleep, creating an internal environment primed for recovery. However, this process is only as effective as the resources available. If your body lacks essential amino acids, magnesium, or antioxidants during this window, muscle repair will be incomplete. This is where pistachios can play an extraordinary role. Eating a handful 1 to 2 hours before bed provides a slow digesting source of amino acids along with key nutrients that directly support sleep physiology. Magnesium, for instance, promotes relaxation by regulating the GABA neurotransmitter system, which calms the nervous system and helps you transition into deeper stages of sleep. Vitamin B6, another nutrient found naturally in pistachios, is required for the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin, and then into melatonin, the hormone that governs your sleep-wake cycle. So, not only do pistachios provide the raw materials for muscle repair, but they also enhance the quality of sleep during which that repair occurs. This is a profound synergy, a food that supports both the process and the environment for recovery. Let me illustrate this with a practical example. Imagine finishing an evening workout around 7 o'clock. Instead of downing a whey protein shake that digests quickly and floods your bloodstream, you have a balanced meal that includes whole food protein and healthy fats. And then an hour before bed, a small serving of pistachios. As you drift into sleep, those amino acids are slowly released into circulation, feeding muscle tissue during the very window when growth hormone and melatonin peak. Meanwhile, magnesium and B6 are supporting deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. Research supports this circadian connection. A study in Nutrients found that consuming a slow digesting protein before sleep enhanced overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to fast digesting proteins taken earlier in the day. Another study in magnesium research demonstrated that magnesium supplementation improved sleep quality and reduced cortisol levels, indirectly boosting recovery potential. Pistachios naturally deliver both of these benefits in one package. Timing in essence transforms nutrition into precision. It is not simply about what enters your body, but when your body is most ready to use it. Aligning your nutrient intake with your circadian rhythm allows you to work with your biology, not against it. Before we move on, a quick reminder. If you are enjoying this, press the like button. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really supports the channel and helps spread these tools to more people striving for better recovery and longevity. In our next section, we will take everything we have learned and turn it into practical integration, specific ways to use pistachios to enhance muscle repair, metabolic health, and long-term vitality. Science is only as powerful as its application. It is one thing to understand that pistachios contain the right amino acids, micronutrients, and antioxidants to rebuild muscle. It is another to integrate that knowledge into your daily rhythm so that it becomes a sustainable habit, not a short-term experiment. This section is about exactly that. How to use pistachios strategically for consistent muscle repair, metabolic balance, and long-term longevity. First, let us talk about quantity. Research on nut consumption and metabolic health consistently shows benefits at a serving of roughly 1 ounce per day. That is about 20 to 25 pistachios, or roughly a small handful. That small amount delivers approximately 6 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and a powerful blend of magnesium, potassium, vitamin E, and B vitamins. It is a nutrient-dense dose that supports both energy metabolism and recovery without tipping caloric balance. Timing is equally important. The most effective window for leveraging pistachios' recovery benefits is in the evening, 1 to 2 hours before sleep. This timing ensures that amino acids, magnesium, and vitamin B6 are bioavailable when your body begins its nightly repair cycle. Pairing pistachios with a source of slow digesting carbohydrates such as oatmeal or Greek yogurt can further stabilize blood sugar and sustain nutrient release overnight. For those who train earlier in the day, pistachios can also serve as a powerful post-workout addition. Combined with a source of complex carbohydrates, for example, a banana or quinoa bowl, they help replenish glycogen while providing antioxidants that reduce exercise-induced oxidative stress. Unlike processed recovery shakes, this combination feeds both immediate repair and long-term resilience. Now, let us connect this with longevity. Pistachios do more than repair muscle tissue. They enhance the metabolic systems that support a long, healthy life. Their polyphenols improve endothelial function, supporting vascular health. Their monounsaturated fats promote insulin sensitivity and hormone balance. And their antioxidants lower chronic inflammation, one of the root causes of aging. A study published in Metabolism, Clinical and Experimental showed that daily pistachio consumption improved blood lipid profiles, reduced oxidative stress, and enhanced endothelial performance, all indicators of metabolic vitality. Another practical advantage is satiety. The combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats and pistachios helps regulate hunger hormones like grain and leptin. This makes them ideal for individuals aiming to maintain lean muscle while controlling body fat. Unlike refined snacks or processed protein bars, pistachios stabilize energy levels and prevent the mid-afternoon crash that often derails consistent nutrition habits. 2. Integrate them seamlessly. Try this. Keep a small container of pistachios on your kitchen counter or in your gym bag. Add them to smoothies, yogurt bowls, or sprinkle them over roasted vegetables. And most importantly, make them your evening ritual. A mindful, nutrient-rich act that signals to your body that it is time to rest, repair, and rebuild. When you nourish your body with real, unprocessed foods that work in harmony with your biology, you are not just building muscle. You are investing in your future health span. If there is one message I hope you carry from this entire exploration, it is this: real, unprocessed foods have biochemical intelligence that no supplement can replicate. Protein powders may offer convenience, but they cannot match the complexity, synergy, and precision of nutrients found in nature, especially in something as unassuming as a pistachio. We began with a simple question. Could one whole food truly rival the engineered formulas of the fitness industry? And as we have seen, the answer is yes. Pistachios are not just a protein source. They are a complete recovery system containing the amino acids that trigger muscle synthesis, the magnesium that fuels mitochondrial energy production, the vitamin E that shields cells from oxidative stress, and the polyphenols that regulate inflammation and support metabolic balance. This is the nutrient symphony your body was designed to work with. It does not rely on isolation or fortification, but on harmony. When you consume pistachios before sleep, you are synchronizing with your body's natural circadian rhythm, feeding the repair mechanisms that operate while you rest. Your mitochondria regenerate, your growth hormone peaks, and your muscle fibers rebuild stronger than before. So, here is your challenge tonight. Add one simple ritual to your evening routine. About an hour before bed, have a small handful of pistachios mindfully, slowly, without distraction. Think of it not as a snack, but as an act of repair. Then, pay attention over the next few days to how you feel, your energy in the morning, your recovery after workouts, your sleep quality. This is your body responding to being nourished, not supplemented. Because longevity is not built on shortcuts. It is built on rhythm, nourishment, and consistency. When you support your body's innate design with foods that work in synergy, you move from temporary results to sustainable vitality. If this breakdown brought you value, like this video and subscribe to join a growing community dedicated to optimizing health span, cellular health, and longevity through evidence-based nutrition. And remember, it is not about eating more. It is about eating smarter. Sometimes the greatest performance enhancer is not found in a tub of powder, but in a handful of nature's most intelligent